Hello? Is this thing on? What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the I Don't Know podcast. This is your host, Veronica Towers. And I'm back today with an interview with a friend today. These are always one of my faves because I get to talk to old friends, new friends about, just all different kinds of jazz in the world. On today's podcast, I have my friend Sunny. He's actually here now, so let's admit him into the meeting. Sunny! Hi!
Hi, can you
How
hear
are
me?
you? Yeah, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm good. I am, I'm on the East Coast now, so
I know,
I'm
sunny
not with you guys
California
anymore.
leaves
I
California.
know, I know. I actually followed you on my new Instagram, but you didn't follow me back, but it's all right. It's okay. I'm not
I
cool.
haven't seen Sunny.
I'm not cool enough. It's okay. It's okay.
I talk to you every day this week, okay?
I know. I was using my old Instagram to talk to you. I'm like, it's okay. I'll just tell her.
Okay, I'll follow you back on your new Insta. Okay, so you ready to just jump into things?
Of course.
All
Go
right.
for
So
it.
first, I want to talk a little bit about how we know each other. You want to do the
Yeah.
honors?
Um, I I was thinking about it. I was like, how do I know her? So I actually know I've heard about you before I had class with you. So I knew of you. I don't know
Mama.
how. No, I think I knew because you were dating some guy. So I was like, okay, I know who she is. And
Yeah.
then we had forensic science class together, and it was so much
It
fun.
was.
That's when I got really close to you. That's
So
all I
high
can
school.
remember.
High school.
So basically high school, yeah.
Yeah. And then after high school, I mean, we like social media, keep in touch type of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But then you decided to leave halfway across the country.
I
So
did. I
you
know. I mean, I do remember bumping into you at Marshall's one time. Well, I didn't bump into you. I texted you. I'm like, I saw you at Marshall's, but I was like social anxiety. I said, I don't want to talk to her. This is
I
after
feel
high
you.
school. This
If
is
I
after
see
high
someone I
school.
know,
Like, I
I'm
don't want to
like,
see anybody. Yeah,
yeah, it's like that sometimes. I get it. Okay,
yeah.
so today we're going to actually talk about something a little bit serious.
Hmm.
Just a smidge serious.
It's okay. It's okay.
You're nervous?
I am because I haven't talked about it to anybody. So, I mean, it's time. So,
Exclusive,
you're it's
exclusive.
exclusive just for you, and I did some research on it, so all for you.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that you did research, but I really just want to know like your story. So we're
Mhm.
going to talk about it. Today's topic is that you are a cancer survivor.
I
You
am.
had cancer, Sunny. What the heck?
I know. See, the crazy thing is, whoever is tuning that knows me, whether we had class together or we crossed paths, I actually have been living with cancer since I was 15 years old. So that cancer was in my body since I was 15 years old. So since we had forensic science class together, I actually had cancer in that class. We
And
graduated high school. I didn't know. I didn't
oh,
know.
you
I was
didn't
just there.
know.
I didn't know.
Oh, okay. What was your diagnosis when you found out? And
Um,
how old were you when you found out?
I had a bump right here, so my left side on my chest. It was a bump. I went to go get it checked out as a child, and the doctors told me it was just a fat that I would just get removed when I turned 18.
Okay.
So things happened in between. My mom passed away from cancer.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry.
so it's okay. So things went downhill with my family, and I was just completely forgot about. So I decided to leave home, and I'm just gonna call this person my caregiver. So my caregiver
Okay.
helped me get insurance and all that, and we went to go get it checked out because we were just like, why not? Because it's been
Yeah.
there. So I went to this doctor that was local in Long Beach, and he was a thoracic surgeon, which is he does surgery on your chest. Um, so I went to get checked out. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go in. He took some samples out of my chest, and a few weeks later, he called me to come in, and he sat down with me, and he gave me an envelope, and I opened it, and I was like, okay, what the hell am I reading? Because there were so many big ass words. So I'm like, oh my god, am I
Yeah.
allowed to cuss? I'm sorry.
No, yeah,
Um,
you are. This is a podcast. We can say fuck.
but I was like reading, and I looked at him. I'm like, okay, what is this? He's like, well, you have a malignant cancer, which is meaning like it's a very deadly cancer. It's going to spread. We need to get it checked out right away. So I was just like, okay. Like,
Shook.
that was just like, what? Like, what did you just say? Say that one more time. But the sad part was he told me, I'm not your doctor. Your cancer is very rare, so you need to go to a different hospital, which is not in Long Beach. And
Like
I
a
was even more
specialist.
scared. Yeah, a specialist. So I went to like a cancer hospital, which was so hard to get into because you know how healthcare is. It's like,
Unfortunately, yeah.
yeah, so they were like, you don't have our healthcare, so you can't come in unless you want to like pay for everything. But I was like, no, I gotta go there. I need to go there. I'm fucking dying here. So it took a
Exactly.
lot of paperwork. So I'm like, all this time doing paperwork and doing phone calls, I could have been in the hospital getting treated. So
Yeah. So
it
how
was
long
just,
did that take from when you found out to actually starting to get
it took a whole month just to get into that hospital.
you for a month just like waiting around to see if someone was going to help you live?
Exactly. And also because the hospital was it's like a very big hospital. People from around the country and the states come to this hospital because it's a
Yeah.
cancer hospital. So they were selectively taking people in who have better health insurance, which fucking
Yeah, I
sucks.
mean, like, I wish there was a world where they could take everyone in, but don't you think that they should take in people by like the severity of their condition? Like, if you're
Exactly. But
already got a diagnosis that, like, hey, you have deadly cancer,
yeah,
you'd think they'd just be like, come on in.
yeah, but that's not how it worked. It took a
Yeah.
whole month. Luckily, I've been living with this cancer for so long that it wasn't, killing me, spreading. It
Yeah,
was just,
yeah.
the amount of time,
Obviously, it
like
was
you,
like chilling.
but it was just like, you fucking told me I have cancer, so you want me to wait a month just to get accepted to this hospital. So
Exactly. So that day that you found out, walk me through, like, you open the envelope. What is
I opened the envelope and I saw so many words. I didn't know what it meant. I just saw like malignant and then my cancer name, which is called follicular dendritic cell sarcoma. It's a very long name
okay? I
that.
know sarcoma.
Yeah. So it's one
Okay.
of those, it's like a blood cancer. It's very rare. It
Yikes.
mainly happens in women, but of course I got it. I opened it, I read it, I didn't understand it, so I had to ask him to explain. And once he explained to me, they did the process. And I remember walking out of there and I was just like, okay, what's for lunch? Like, it was just like,
Shock.
I was shocked, but I didn't believe it. I'm just like, okay, but I've had this lump with me since I was 15. So I was like, I didn't believe it. So I sat down and I started thinking about it. I'm like, telling my caregiver, I'm like, he's like, you're sick. I'm like, I know, but I don't believe it. I don't feel sick. I'm fine.
Yeah.
He's like, I know, but you have a malignant cancer on your chest. It's close to your heart. And I was just like,
Just not
oh, fuck.
processing.
I was just processing. I just felt like there was nothing in my brain. I was just like, I'm hungry. What's for lunch?
Yeah.
So it really started to hit me when I finally got accepted to the hospital. I had to do my first visit.
Yeah.
Shout out to the City of Hope. That's in Duarte, California. That saved my life. So
Hey,
if
City of
anybody.
Hope.
Exactly. That's when it started to hit me because when I first walked in, I had to start signing papers like, just in case you die, do you want to donate your organs? Who wants to be the person who pulls the plug? All
Oh my
this.
God. Like a do not resuscitate type of thing.
Exactly. It was just my first day.
Scary.
Exactly. So that's when it started to hit me. Um, yeah, so I really don't remember too much in details. I just remember it was just a
Yeah.
blank day. I don't remember. It was just cloudy. I was just hungry and ready for lunch.
Your brain was like, this is too much. I'm just going to not pay attention.
That's what I do. Like when there's something bad happens, my mind just like completely sugarcoats it. Like
Yeah.
I know it's there, but my mind just wanders off. Like, oh well, I'll just deal with it later.
It's called dissociation. You just don't
Exactly.
want to
Yeah.
even deal with it.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. And then you get home, and do you tell anyone besides your caregiver that was with you?
I texted my best friend that I said I have cancer, and of course I have to explain to her like she's like, how, what, when, why?
Yeah.
And of course when you tell people you have cancer, people automatically think like, oh my God, you're gonna die.
Yeah. I'll keep it 100. Whenever I hear someone has cancer, I'm like, fuck, is like, how much time do they have? Kind
Yeah.
of
And
thing.
see the crazy thing is like once I found out more information about the cancer, I didn't do research about it. I just knew the name of the cancer. I didn't want to Google, I didn't want to do anything.
That's
So
good.
I just didn't want to know anything about it. I just rather just go in and fight it. But I was actually stage 3,
Okay.
which is like there's 4 stages, I
Yeah, so
think.
you were like pretty up there. I mean, I'm celebrating because we know that you're okay, but that's fucking
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
Okay, so you text your friend and she's like obviously freaking out.
She's freaking out, but it's more like I didn't want to tell anybody because I had to explain myself.
Yeah.
And it was more like I need support rather just than like why do I have to explain myself how I got sick and why when like I just need support because I have cancer. I don't need to tell you, oh, I had this, and this on this day. And I'm just like, no, I don't. So that's why I kept it quiet from a lot of people.
Yeah.
My fingers kind of did some trouble on Twitter where I started posting stuff. So I started on there, and that's when people kind of found out. But people really thought I started posting a picture of me being bald, and people thought I just did it for like, oh, I just got a
To
haircut.
be a
But I was
bald
like,
baddie.
yeah. And I was like, okay, people are going with it. People think I just shaved my head just for the heck of it. But she was the only person that I told because I wasn't close to my family. We had issues at the time.
Yeah. So it was just her.
So it was just her and my caretaker, and only 2 people knew in my life. And the sad part is like when I went into chemotherapy, it was for a week straight. I only allowed my caretaker to come in and out. But it was sad and lonely because he would go to work and he worked all the way in San Pedro.
Mm.
I sat there with like an IV poison going in me and I was sitting alone and nobody knew. Nobody.
And what were you doing on your phone?
I was
Distracting
on my
yourself?
phone, like distracting, like looking at everybody's social media. I wanted to tell people, but I couldn't. It was just like, I also, was embarrassed because
Embarrassed.
like I was in high school and middle school, I was always like this put together person, and people really thought I was like so funny and so like diva and like I wouldn't say
Yeah.
cool, but like I just got along with
You were
everybody.
cool as hell. You are cool as hell. But yeah, that was your
Thanks.
thing.
And I was embarrassed to tell people like I was sick because I didn't want people to think like, oh my God, he's sick. Like, gross. Like,
Yeah.
ew.
Oh no. I'm sorry that
Yeah,
that's where your brain went, but I understand.
I mean, I really like cared about my image at the time. So I really kept my mouth shut to the best of my abilities until my fingers got me in trouble.
So you
But
exposed it on Twitter
I
eventually.
exposed it on Twitter. I finally tweeted about something like, "Oh, I'm going to my second round of chemo. Please give me support." And I guess word spread like fleas. Like everybody knows each other in Long Beach. So
Yeah, exactly.
because I was actually like I knew somebody spread it because somebody messaged me saying, "Oh my God, I heard you're going through something. I am here if you want to talk." And mind you, I never talked to these bitches. I'm like, we had class once, and like you
Me?
let me, you
Was
let me
it me?
you let me copy your homework once, and now you want to talk to me?
Well, I mean, they were
No, it
doing their
wasn't you.
choices, but like, yeah,
But
it's like that. People don't show up until some shit
something
goes
happens to
down.
you.
Yeah.
I'm like, remember I asked you for a bite of your pizza and you said no. Now you want to be in my fucking Snapchat saying, "Are you okay?"
Now I'm in your thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, like, do you want me to bring you a whole slice of pizza? No.
Okay, so you said that your first week was chemo, like straight.
Chemo. So I went straight into chemo. I went to go visit the oncologist, and
Uh-huh.
my set plan was like I had no idea. I was just being like, fuck, I don't want to do chemo because when you're a cancer, you hear chemo.
Yeah.
And he straight up just walked in. He's like, "You're gonna start chemo in 2 days," because I had to put in a port. A port is something that it's like a little machine. They could put it anywhere where it's closest to your cancer. They don't want to always keep poking you because you can't always find a vein, and they don't want to bruise my arm and also damage my vein. So this port up here was connected to a vein. So they would just poke the machine.
Oh,
They would draw blood and put in chemo. It's already like stuck in my body and connected to a vein.
okay, like
So
permanently there until they.
it's permanently there until they tell you like you can
Yeah.
take it out now. but it leaves you
Wow.
like a really ugly scar, which is okay because it helped save my life. Um,
Yeah, we'll put
I
the
named
like
I named
cosmetic thing
poor I
aside.
named the poor Portia because she was a bad bitch. But
You named it Portia?
yeah, I mean she got poked more than I did.
Good for her.
I was jealous, but the first day I had to bring like a suitcase because I was staying there for a week. They didn't let me go home.
Oh, you were
Um,
staying in the hospital.
in the hospital,
Okay.
and I told them straight up, I want to be on the pediatrics floor because that's where the kids are, and like there's more fun stuff to do, and the nurses actually have to like take care of the kids, so they go into the rooms and
Yeah.
actually they constantly watch you. And so luckily they were like, okay. I was like 20 years old. They were like, what does a 20-year-old want to go to pediatric floor for? But they were okay with
But
it.
they let
So
you?
they let me. So my whole treatment, I was on the pediatric floor, thank God. Because they had like TV, they had like a mini fridge, they had like a playroom. I know I sound like a
That's
kid,
where the
but
party was at.
exactly. Um, so yeah, I went through chemo the first day. I got two types of chemo. The first chemo was called ifosfamide, and then the second chemo was called doxorubicin. And doxorubicin is the most potent, strong chemo that anybody can get. It doesn't matter what cancer you get.
Oh, wow.
It's also known as like the red devil
The
because
red devil. Is this like
it's
cancer lingo?
I know, right? It's like a little bag. It's like a little bag and it's red. So when you pee, it's red, and when you cry, your tears are red. I know. It was that strong.
Scary.
It was like they were literally injecting poison into my body. I was fine. I was literally okay until the chemo went through my body. I was like, people die because of chemo, not because of the cancer, because the chemo like messes you up.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
makes you feel sick.
it makes me feel sick. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to tell anybody because I knew people were going to be like, oh, can I visit you? And I was embarrassed because I was like vomit a lot and my hair fell out. And
Oh,
of course, I cared about my image. So that's why I didn't tell
yeah.
anybody. So, I didn't want
Oh,
people to see me at my low, like, oh my God, he's vomiting. What do I do? I just was embarrassed. But,
yeah.
hey, I'm here.
You're
But
here. You're here. Did they tell you how long the treatment was supposed to be? Like in the very beginning,
um,
did they say
they
you're going
didn't
to
tell
be
me how
here?
long, but they said 12 rounds of chemo. I really try to do the math. I really don't remember, but it was like in increments. So with that, they were saying like, we don't know if you're gonna get more or not. We're just gonna say 12 rounds. And I was praying. Like after my first round of chemo, I told the doctor, I can't do this. I can't. Like as the days went on, the side effects start hitting you.
Yeah.
And I really told the doctor, I can't do this. Like I don't give up on things, but this was so bad that I didn't want to suffer because
Of course. And then
it
considering you
was
had lived with it for so long without like even noticing, I'm sure you
and
thought
top of
that's a better option.
yeah, and then no support on top of that. So it
Of
was just
course. Yeah.
like I was in my own head battling with myself. Like, what do I do? Like, am I gonna die or just live with it or just go through it?
Yeah.
But of course, the doctor gave me some confidence, and I went through it again. I mean, me saying I can't do it was just me vocalizing, but my ass was gonna do it regardless. I just had to say it.
Yeah. You just needed to
Um,
let your feelings out and vent for a little.
yeah,
You were going through a
yeah.
fucking traumatic thing, man. Like, it's
Exactly. I
okay.
mean, it's not like they're putting one chemo in me, they're injecting two at the same time. So it's one strong, potent, that red devil one, and another
Yeah.
strong one. So it's like,
And for 12
ugh.
weeks.
Yeah. And I'm like, I just feel like I just graduated high school. So, well, I didn't, but everybody's living their life, and I'm over here fucking dying in a fucking hospital. So,
Yeah.
during the middle part, I decided just to like tweet about it and like post a picture, and that's
Yeah.
when the news spread out. I think he found out through Instagram. I don't know. A lot of people found
Yeah.
out through
I
Instagram
think I found out social media.
because of
Yeah.
photos like right there, me sitting in the hospital. But I did get a lot of support. It was overwhelming, but I was like halfway done. But it was nice that people came in towards the end or towards the
Yeah.
middle. But I was already suffering, so I think
Yeah.
like
But at that
I
point,
should
did you
have
realize, like, I am grateful for having these people after
I
all?
am. Like, you were actually one of the people that I DM through Twitter when I was going to have my surgery. I was freaking out because I never had surgery.
Yeah.
And you said something like, "Oh, the surgery is gonna be fine. They're gonna put you to sleep, and you're gonna wake up and not remember anything."
Yeah.
And it
I
was
think I
true.
had like kidney surgery, so that's
Yeah, you
why.
had surgery or
Yeah.
something, and that helped. That actually did because you were like one of the three people that only had surgery. So
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, that's exactly how it is, right? One second you're like awake and then you wake up and you're like, wait, what?
yeah.
And when did you start feeling the side effects? How far into the first
So
one?
a week for my first round of chemo. So after that week, I wasn't hungry. Obviously, hospital food is fucking disgusting. So that was like sign number one. Like, okay, I eat everything. I could even eat a banana. So I was like, okay, I'm losing my appetite. Two, I couldn't poop. A side effect is like diarrhea, but I held my poop for like 2 months. I could not poop.
Oh
And the nurses were
no.
like giving me all this stuff for me to poop because they needed samples.
Mm-hmm.
But also I think because my body was like going through anxiety, it didn't want to poop. Like I just didn't want to poop because I was like, no, I'm not gonna let my nurse take my poop. I
Oh my
didn't
goodness.
I yeah, so whatever I didn't poop, it came out the other way. But
Oh.
and then like I was at home one time and I was making a poster about like being cancer free one. Like I was making poster for the future, like being positive. I was
Yeah. Wishing
coloring.
board.
Yeah, and I was home alone. I was just coloring and next thing you know, like hair started falling.
Oh.
And then like I ran to the restroom and I went like this, and then like bunches of hair were like in my fingers, and I literally cried because who wants their hair to fall out? It was like the main thing I was worried about, like having my hair to fall out.
Yeah.
And then like also your nails become brittle, so like they start forming like white lines. So everything I touch and my nails would touch it, it like broke off.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
and then my nails didn't grow back, so it would just break off. Yeah, and then my pee really stinked. Not that it stinks now, but it like really stunk so bad. I guess because of the chemo, it was also red. Um,
That's
what else
how
did
do
I?
you know if you're like bleeding or if it's just the red devil?
It's like that's true, but it was just red, like clear red. I think if it was like blood, it would come out a little more thicker
Yeah, yeah,
red.
yeah.
Yeah, but luckily I didn't bleed. Also, it's let's see, a side effect is I lost a lot of my memory. I don't remember a lot of the stuff. People have different side effects. Not everybody gets a side effect that I'm gonna get, but I got that. One of the worst side effects that hit me was called mucositis. Blisters start forming all over your mouth, inside, on your tongue, on your gums. So literally, I could not speak, and I had to get a pen and paper. It hurt. It was like blisters. Like even if you open your mouth, like imagine getting cuts, like, and you try to
Yeah.
open your mouth, it was all inside my mouth. It was white and blistery. TMI,
Ouch.
but it was the worst. And then I think you get mucositis on your butthole because when I did poop at home, I had like obviously you have to wipe, but it was like bloody because like it was like stretching your asshole. Yeah,
Yikes. Could it
so
have been
I
like hemorrhoids, do you think? Or did they tell you no, it's this?
it's mucositis, yeah. And you see
Wow.
the thing is like a lot of these side effects happen to females and I've been getting them. Yeah, so I'm like, why the fuck am I getting these side effects if they're only for females?
What is the percent? I know this is like a far-fetched question. You might not know the answer, but like, so it must have been super rare that you as a male had this. Like, small percentage, we're saying?
It's a very small percentage. I couldn't find anybody who had like the same cancer as me because I
Mhm.
wanted to get in contact with them. And I found one. She was in the East Coast. Funny, I live in the East Coast, but um, she was a female.
So you found like a friend online?
Online, I like no, I hashtag the cancer on Instagram,
Oh, okay.
and she popped up, and we shared stories. I don't know the exact percentage
Cute.
of like how many males have it, but I just
Mhm.
found out like somebody actually my age had it, and I actually went to chemo radiation, and she didn't do all that. The fucking doctor just cut it out for her.
And do you know why that
Yeah.
wasn't an option for you? You think it's because it had been there for so long?
But also
Yeah.
different hospitals, different doctors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But your shit was
Yes.
probably attached.
It was like intertwined with my nerves and my lymph nodes. So they were saying I write with my left hand and my cancer was on my left chest. The one of the ways to get rid of it is they amputated my arm. They cut off my arm. It would
Yeah.
most likely definitely be cancer free if they get rid of this arm because it was
In
so
the lymph
intertwined
node.
with this arm. Yeah, that it's like if we take this cancer out, your arm is not going to work anymore. So you might as well cut it off.
Oh,
So
what?
that's another thing I was like stressing about. It was so many shit, so many shit.
So in the very beginning, what did they say like your outcome was going to be? Like what was the worst case I mean, besides
The
dying?
worst case, it's okay. The worst case scenario is like it's trial and error. They were like, oh, we don't know if the chemo's gonna work, so you're just gonna go through it.
And then
And
we'll see.
if it works, good. If it doesn't, sorry. So
Yikes.
the chemo shrunk my tumor by 15% out of 100.
15, 1 5?
1 5.
All that for 15%?
But you know what? I was like 15% is better than nothing.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I walked out of there like cheerful because I'm like 15%, it's strong.
Yeah.
And but they were like saying, if we were to get rid of this tumor that's so intertwined with your nerves and your lymph node, you might wake up from your surgery with no arm. It's going to be amputated.
Oh, so that was a risk you were
It was like
taking while going to
90%.
sleep? Oh,
Yeah, it was
shit.
90% that
No
they were
wonder
going to
you were so
amputate my arm.
fucking scared for surgery.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't want to tell him, like, I just, you know,
Yeah.
but the surgery happened. It was going to be a 14-hour surgery, and it was going to be three doctors involved. It was going to be a neurologist. I don't know why he was going to get involved because that deals with the brain.
Mm-hmm.
The thoracic surgeon that does the chest, and then a plastic surgeon because when they were going to remove the tumor, my chest was going to be concave, where it's going to look like there's going to be a hole in my
Yeah.
chest. So the plastic surgeon was going to like put some plastic to make it look like my chest was even and it didn't
Mm.
look too like weird. So it turns out plastic surgeon didn't have to do his work. The neurologist didn't have to be in the room, so it was just the thoracic surgeon. So he went in there, did the surgery, and it turned out to be instead of 14 hours, 9 hours of
Okay, so
surgery.
things went
So
well.
things went well. So let's rewind. I had to do like a blood test in Long Beach, and they were wondering why I had to do a blood test, and they were reading why. They said they found out I had cancer, and you know what the doctors did in Long Beach? They were like, "We're gonna do
What's the
this blood
tea?
test,
Uh-huh.
but we don't recommend you doing the surgery on Sunny because you're not gonna make it." They were
Oh,
telling the
there's
city.
that
They
you
were
were
telling the
not gonna
city
make
of
it?
yeah. They were gonna tell the city of Hope people don't do the surgery because he's not gonna make it. The tumor is too far intertwined with his vessels and all that and nerves.
Good
And you
thing
know what?
these other doctors didn't give up on you.
Ever since like I found that out, I'm like, fuck Long Beach. No shade to the Long
No,
Beach
you
doctors who
got
are
your beef.
decent. But you know what? The City of Hope doctors were like, fuck it, we're just gonna go and do a surgery.
Yeah.
And I woke up and I was like, the first thing I thought was am I cancer free? But the doctor was like, we don't want to say yes, so we're gonna do one more test and then we'll come back and tell you.
As soon as you got out of surgery, first
That's the
question.
first thing. That was the first thing.
Also, how about the arm? You were like, oh shit, it's still
Oh
there.
yeah, oh yeah. I woke up and I looked at my. It was dark though. It was like really black. I don't know what was, but I
That's
could
like
barely feel it. And
means that it's like dying.
I'm still actually numb from here. So they were like saying your arm's
Oh.
gonna be there, but you're gonna lose some sensation on your arm. So if like you were to touch me here or poke me, I can't feel it.
Oh wow. Okay, and is it gonna be
Yeah,
like that for
it's
Evs?
gonna be like that. But they were saying like maybe you might get some sensation as time
Hmm.
goes on, but I can barely feel stuff. But I'd rather have that than like my whole arm gone.
Of course. Yes, yes, yes. I feel like you got the best deal out of whatever the scenario was.
I did, but the
Yeah.
sucky part is like, I don't know. Do you remember I used to write really nice and pretty?
Yes.
People thought I can't hold a pencil or a pen without like writing a letter, and like my arm just freezes, and like I can't write the letter S, and
Mm,
it stops. Like my grip and my motion or my nerves or muscles, I have to retrain them. So it sucks because like when you want to write something really quick, my arm just freezes. I can't move it. Like
mm.
it just stops out. That's the sucky part. But of course, time and training and getting
Yeah.
back into the groove.
Therapies. Hmm.
Yeah.
That's insane. I'm like trying to process because like you were just the happiest ever in high school and like, all good vibes and you were going through something so crazy these past few
Yeah.
years.
I mean, like I kept like a optimistic persona on social
Yeah.
media because that's how people saw me as.
Yeah.
And I had no other choice because I wasn't gonna post all this sad stuff and have people be like, give me all this sympathy, and I'm not one to ask for sympathy.
Yeah,
And
you're not.
I know when people get sick, a lot of people like, start to GoFundMe and
Yeah.
stuff. And I didn't do all that because I just feel like, no, I just rather like suffer in silence and people keep my image up. And so I just had no choice. I just wanted to be optimistic. And I don't know, what am I going to post that's sad? Like, oh, I have cancer, I'm going to die. No, which is still being me. I feel like that was still me and that was my true self. I was still being optimistic because that's who I am.
Yeah. But I'm sure you had your down days.
Well, like, behind closed doors, sometimes it's different. I mean, there was a
Yeah.
time where I sat at like dinner and it all hit me and I started like breaking down because there was a point where like my mind told me like, oh my God, am I gonna die?
When it clicked.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the doctors never told me you're gonna die, but you're going to chemo, you have no hair, you're really like not that skinny, but you feel like you've lost some weight, and like my family doesn't even know like I went to chemo and all that. So am I gonna die? So that there was a point where I did lose some positivity and hope. Yeah, it's natural to feel like that, but I
Of
think for
course, given
me,
what your situation, I don't think
but you
anybody's
know
gonna be
what?
like,
For me, it was like it just happened that night, and ever since I like didn't even think about it ever since. It just
wow.
hit me all of that one night. Yeah.
Well, that proves that you're human and you needed a human minute to like
Yeah, but I
let it
was,
out.
of course, it's like embarrassed. I'm like, why am I
Oh
crying? I don't
my
ever cry.
God.
I'm a tough cookie.
Yeah, you still are a tough cookie just because you cried one time.
I know. Yeah, I cried. I didn't even cry when I found out I was cancer free. I was like, okay, thanks. Yeah.
What was that moment like? Like for realsies, give me the inside monologue.
When they told me I was cancer free.
Yeah.
So, like, when I woke up from my surgery, that's the first thing I asked. But of course, the doctors can't tell you yes right away. So, like, as hours went by, different doctors kept coming in. I kept asking the same question. They were like, oh, we don't know yet. Their test is still being evaluated. So, my surgeon who did my surgery finally walks in and I look at him and he's telling me all this stuff. I'm like, I don't even care about. So I look at him and he's like, yes, you're cancer free. And I was like, are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah,
He's like,
don't want to
yes,
get your
you're
hopes
cancer.
up.
He's like, yes, you're cancer free, but you do have some cancer cells still in there. So, but that's where like you do radiation, and
Okay.
radiation is like an IV or something light that hits you and like kills all the cancer cells, so it doesn't form anything else.
Okay. So yeah, that was my next question. Once you found out you're cancer free, you go
Hmm.
into what's called remission, right?
Yes.
So what was your remission process? I mean, are you
So
still considered in remission?
I am.
Okay, okay.
I am. So I did like 15 or 20 rounds of radiation. So that was like back to back thing. That was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I would go every day and back, every day and back. See, mind you guys that I didn't drive. So, and my caretaker had to work in San Pedro. So nobody knew I was going through this. So I had to catch this thing called Access. It's like a bus where you schedule it and they pick you
Sunny,
up.
oh my God.
So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I would have to call for this bus to pick me up at a certain time. And mind you, that the bus doesn't take you straight to the hospital. It picks up other people near you, drops them off in locations near, and then takes your ass to wherever you need to go. And the sad part is like my destination was the farthest. So I would have to drop all these people off first and then for me to get to the hospital. And my appointment would be like at 5 p.m. So I wouldn't be done till like 8 p.m. at night and would be on the bus alone back to Long Beach. And
After
nobody knew
just
I was,
going through chemo.
yeah, I was sitting there on the
Oh my
bus.
God.
It's not like a public bus, but it's just like a private bus for them. But still,
Yeah.
it's like I was
You're by
doing this. Oh,
yourself.
I was alone
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, going to a hospital that's like 45 minutes at night, back and forth every day. And then coming back was sucked too because this bus would sometimes go to LA, and around the time I would finish treatment, we would be stuck in LA traffic, and I would just wanted to be home. So
Of
sometimes I would get home at
course.
like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. because we'd be stuck in traffic. So yeah, it was hard. So I
And
did
then do it
radiation
again the next day.
the next week.
Oh,
So I had to
oh
do it
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, so I had to do it for like 6 weeks or something. Radiation was, I would say, much easier than chemo because obviously you don't get sick off of it, but it does give you like sunburn. So a few days later, you would notice that your skin is starting to dry up. and then
Oh,
it's gonna start to burn. So like it's just like you ever had a sunburn? So basically, a sunburn is there, and it hurts so like a bitch. It hurts like a
because of the radiation?
radiation. Yeah,
Mm,
but I'd rather have like burns on my body than go to chemo again. And like
yeah.
that's what I would tell somebody. I'd rather do radiation so many times. But see, the thing is, like, I read about radiation, and sometimes radiation it's good to kill the cancer cells, but
Mhm.
it causes other cancers in your body because it's
Ugh.
radiation.
So what the
So it's
heck?
like, yeah, so it's like, okay, but I had to do it.
How long was
It
that
was
for?
for I think about 2 months. So funny thing is, I stopped. My last day of radiation was like right before Christmas,
Wow.
2017. So that was my last treatment. I do remember the nurses telling me, "Well, I hope you enjoy your Christmas and the New Year because you're done with radiation."
Wow.
So even like my chemotherapy, I was gonna turn 21. And funny thing is, like, my chemotherapy date didn't land on my birthday. So I was already like, you know what, I'm turning 21, let's go to Vegas. But it wasn't the same because I was like on chemo, like in my body already.
Yeah.
And I called the doctor. I'm like, I'm in Vegas. Can I have like
You went?
alcohol? Can I have alcohol? Yeah. And he's like, you know what, you're not supposed to, but since it's your birthday, you can have a little bit, just don't overdo it. I'm like, okay. So I had like a margarita and I did some gambling. It was fun, but it's not the same because you're sick, but you're 21 years old.
Yes.
But
I mean, I think only Sunny would go to Vegas while they're in the middle of chemo.
yeah, yeah, I did. I did. So, but the next is like it sucked because like I went for a day and then the next morning I had to go back in for chemo. So it's like I'm gonna have fun, but I also have to go to chemo tomorrow.
Oh my God. But you know
So
what?
yeah,
Good for
I did.
you for like doing those fun things, and not
Yeah,
just like sulking at home. You were still
I mean
taking
I
care of
could
yourself.
have, but I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? Let's just go to Vegas. I'm turning 21.
Damn it. This is insane. You were so fucking strong, Sunny.
I like to be, but whoever is watching this and tuning in, the Sunny you guys met before is not the same person you guys are watching now. I don't know. That person you guys knew before died. I don't know what happened to him. He really did. Chemotherapy fucked me up. That he was
Oh.
gone. I'm still trying to figure myself out. I don't know where I belong in life. I still don't know who I am. I'm trying to figure it out
Yeah.
like everybody else, but I just had to go through like fucking being sick and
A
stuff.
traumatizing
While
experience.
everybody's like graduating college already, I feel like I'm a little behind in life, but
You're on your own timeline, you know?
yeah,
Those
yeah.
people didn't have to go through what you went through, so they don't have to worry about
Yeah.
that shit. So
I'm just trying to close that book. I'm gonna open it for you, and I think this will
thank
probably
you.
be the
Thank you for
last
doing that.
time I will probably open it again.
Sorry for making you keep it open for so long because we
No,
kept
it's
having to
good
push it
because
back.
it's okay because it's time to like tell people my story. Like I kept it for so long. People know bits of it, but they don't know the
Yeah.
whole circle about it. So I'm glad that you asked me to be on your podcast
Yeah. I
because
mean, obviously, you're fucking Sunny.
oh my
The
gosh.
famous Sunny. No, but don't
No,
feel
I was
any
like,
pressure to like keep up the, persona of whatever. Like you're a
yeah,
human. You're not a
yeah.
persona. Okay, well, now that you're all healthy and good and in a different state and doing new
Hmm.
things, what are you gonna do for your remission since you're still considered
Okay, so when I
remission?
was in Cali, I would go in to get checked up at the City of Hope around like 4 to 6 months
Mm-hmm.
apart. It started off as 4 months. No, it started off 2 months, and they were like, "Oh, your scans are clear." I would either do a CAT scan
Mm-hmm.
or an MRI scan. MRI scan is really simple. A CAT scan is more like into details with your scans, but they didn't really want to do it because they would inject something in me and they
Mm-hmm.
would put me in a tube. And once they injected something in me, I would puke. So they would have to pull me out
Oh
and I
no.
would ruin the scan. So they
You had
knew I
to
didn't
start
like
all
it. So
over?
yeah. So, and also because they didn't let me eat, I had to fast. So I didn't have nothing in my belly and I would just puke nothing.
Yeah.
So, so once my scans were clear, they would push it to 4 months, and it was just the same routine. They would draw blood, do a scan, they was meet with a doctor, and they were like, "You're clear." So that kept going on, and they were like, "Okay, let's do 6 months," because I was doing so well with my scans. They kept saying it was clear. So my next scan is supposed to be next year in February, but they don't know I moved. So I do need to keep up with, like, contact them and ask them what's a good
Mm-hmm.
hospital out here. But yeah, that's all. I don't really get any shots or anything. I don't do anything or therapy. I just go in for a CAT scan, meet with the doctor, and they tell me the news. That's about
Yeah,
it.
just make sure that it's not back, and the
Yeah,
rest is in the
that's what
clear,
that's
right?
the main thing. Yeah, that's all I need to hear.
Yeah. And then are you doing physical therapy or
I,
you
I
at
did.
home?
I used to do a physical therapy with a professional, but I fucking hated it because I was also out of shape. So not only like was it like affecting me here, it was affecting my stomach, my legs. I'm like, oh my God, I can't breathe. I'm so tired. So I gave up on like my second week because I'm like, fuck this shit. I can't do this. It just feels like they were making me exercise, not with my arm. They were working my whole
PE
body.
class.
Yeah, I was like one of those people that ran, like walked the lap.
The mile, walked it in the
Yeah,
back
I just
with the
walked.
girlies.
Yeah, exactly. I hated it because one time they would like make all the guys run first.
Yeah.
And I was so embarrassed. I'm like, me running with a bunch of straight guys. It's like, I was like, fuck.
The girlies and
Yeah,
the gays are always in the back.
exactly. I was like, let me run slow because I'm not about to run with these straight guys.
Okay, well let's wrap it up here. What is something that you would want to say to someone who is either going through cancer right now, going through remission, a similar story to yours? What is some advice?
So I would tell the person going through cancer or doing treatment or whatever, going through remission, is allow people in. Like
Hmm.
open the doors and don't worry about your image. People really care for you. There are people out there that really care, love, and support you. People will
Mm-hmm.
be there, even though you might think like no one's gonna be there. Somebody is gonna be there, even if it's just a message or a FaceTime or a text message. People really care. So don't feel the need to like be embarrassed about your image. Just things are gonna get rough, so you're gonna need all the support you
Yeah.
can get. So and for people who don't have cancer, I do have some advice. Um, I know people don't like, people have different bodies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can eat all the fucking salads you want and juice and exercise, but you can still get cancer versus somebody who like lays around, eat junk food and don't get cancer.
Yeah.
All I have to say is listen to your fucking body. Like if your body's saying you're tired, if your body's saying I don't feel well, do something about it. One thing I learned about being sick is like if you're sick, it's better to catch it on like really early instead of wait for it to get
Yeah.
worse. Especially like when you're in pain, don't even you feel like you're in pain, don't wait till you get like to a 10 to take a fucking Tylenol or to go to the hospital. You feel pain at like 1 or 2, take a Tylenol. Like you don't want it
Preventative
to get
care.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like people should always listen to their bodies. And if you guys ever feel like you guys have a bump, get it checked out and don't wait till like you're like 20 years old like me and finding out that you've been living with cancer your whole entire childhood and going through it at like such an older age. So I kind of ruined my 20 beginning to 20 to 24-year-old age fighting cancer, but that's okay. But if you guys are listening and tuning in, get your bumps checked out, even if it's small or big.
Yeah. Well, you didn't ruin your 20s. You just had a different path
I had a
than
different
usual to
path.
yes, but you still did
Yeah,
Vegas at 21, so
I know. But hey, now I know like I was a bad bitch in high school and now I'm a badder bitch now because I mean
yes,
like,
you fucking beat cancer, Sonny. You
yeah,
beat that
so
bitch.
I did.
Well, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast and for
Thanks for
telling your
having
story.
me.
This is long overdue.
I know. I mean, it's
Yeah.
nice to hear somebody from home because I haven't heard
Yeah.
another voice from Long Beach in so long and
Oh
I miss it.
wow. Well, I'm always here. I'm gonna follow your new Instagram account so we could
Yeah,
still talk.
yeah, yeah.
But thank you again for coming on. Thank you for sharing your story. This was very personal and vulnerable, so I
It's
appreciate you
okay.
opening up.
Hmm.
Cute. Okay, Sadie, thank you so much. Have a good
Hey, thanks for
day.
having me. Bye.
Bye.